Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 51, which is obviously a super special secret episode where we will uncover all the secrets of the aliens that are hidden behind this episode, because this is Area 51. Thank you very much. Which is the first appearance of my girlfriend in camera, I just noticed. Yeah. So, last episode, where we had our big change, at least appearance-wise, and my players still haven't seen the change, because the episode isn't uploaded yet. And, yeah, hopefully this week. Because we always upload 1 week ahead now, ahead of schedule. And they can then shout at me how disappointed they are. But until then, no, I'm kidding. We should keep this train rolling. And yeah, episode 50, though a big number, was a very chill episode, I feel like. It was the first time after a long time that you could relax. You found out a lot of stuff, but kind of like what was actually happening was relatively low-key. No big monsters had to be fought. No one had to be deceived and assassinated or stuff like that. It was just good old tower time. That is how I should have named the episode. Ah, fuck. Well, anyways, next time. Okay, now then. This episode, in your introductions, what I would like to know. There's several things actually, and I have to choose one. Since we left off with Fiera kind of dream diving, it's a simple yes or no question that I'm gonna ask, and that is whether or not the spell is successful. Do you think they are dreaming, are sleeping, or they're so unconscious that they aren't even capable of dreaming? So, starting off with none other than
me, of course. I am Greg, and I'm playing Iric Spanner, the human artificer. I think it's successful. After all of the failures and potential, disasters and stuff, I think just the sort of calmness that we've found ourselves in has just eased the situation a little bit.
Okay. Optimistic for once.
Hi, I'm Matt, playing Fiera, the Chronomancer Wizard. I don't think it's guaranteed either way, because we don't know what effect put them under, but if it's a magical sleep, like I think it might be, I think it's going to be successful. So, or if they were just knocked to, unconsciousness and left that way, they're probably sleeping too, just not comfortably.
Hi, I'm Skit, and I play Isara Leafina, the druid cleric. I think no, but I don't think it will be Fiera's fault. I think there's something preventing the spell from going through somehow. That is my guess.
So I guess that comes to me. I'm Felicia, playing Jade. I am kind of on the same lines as Skit. I don't think it's going to work the way that it's expected. A lot of times when fear does things, unexpected things happen. This is offlandish, but then part of me wonders if maybe Pierre will get sucked in and fall unconscious herself, and then we just don't know what's happening. That's kind of my theory.
Okay. So 2 yeses and 2 nos. Very interesting. Well, my theory is that I know what's gonna happen. So with that, we're just gonna jump right into it. And that's the only and fastest way to figure out if it works.
I just want to apologize in advance for the dogs in the background. So if you ask me a question and I don't respond, it's because I've muted myself because they're growling and barking so loud.
I mean, a literal dog fight. A sky that was turned over. The earth that is falling. A dark omen that spread its seeds across the world has started to grow its roots. And it would be blasphemy to deny the awakening of the terrors. Oh, what are we? But those who blind themselves in the anguish of the past, while we seek for release and salvation in the future. The premonition of the falling moon was neglected by the forgotten gods, and so the astral gate was shattered. By what beast, nobody knows. The ripples of the divine severance left the world without guidance, and those who waned their misfortune died, and those who took advantage of it killed. Endless years of meaningless war were waged in the name of a new age, where power would be restored to those who held divinity. The grace of our people was lost in the slaughter, and the blood spilled filled the cracks of the seeds of the dark omen, and awakened the terrors left behind by it, to decide whether those who challenge fate may rise, or those who follow it. So in the name of the dark blood and our forgotten ancestry, we challenge the terrors and the premonition of the fallen moon. For we seek to free our world, to return it to how it was before it was taken away from us by the bearers of the seed of power. And so, if we must once again spill blood and wage war, we will. But it will be in the virtue of our own kind, the virtue to resist, the virtue to look forward, and the virtue to hope. Yes, there we have it. I'm gonna start this off with a quick recap. You guys have defeated Belkal's supervisor Volcam in part of a deal you made with him to get Jade's stuff back, basically. And after his defeat, Belkal gave you basically his thanks. And it seems, excuse me, like your relationship status with him has improved a bit. And after this more or less epic battle, you decided to kind of lay low and lay down for a while, after Belkal also said that he will also need some time to kind of I guess introduce himself to the people as their new supervisor, and said that it would take basically, what was it again? 2 lapses of the green moon, which is 1 lapse of the brown moon, which is 48 hours. Which I've learned. No, it was 4 lapses of the green moon. Excuse me. Moon cycles, you know, they come and go. Yeah, and so during your stay on the top of this hill covered in molten lava, you discovered a few things. One of which was that a buried Medax fire chrysalis was hidden beneath the ground, which you managed to unearth. Your Minecraft-style tactics did prove to work quite fine, at least after you've disabled the kind of magic enchantments residing within the pillars here, turning all the magma to earth quickly, which allowed you to kind of just dig out the chrysalis, or, well, I saw exploded it out with a spell, and you kind of just got handed it to you. And it was a super polished Medax fire chrysalis, which means the elemental powers emitted from it are extremely high. You would also spend the time to recreate the tower, rest inside, get food delivered to you, and as a sort of trophy and thanks von Felkau, also get one of the horns from Volcam, whose power is now being used by Jade. I think that's the horn, yes. Yeah. And last but not least, Fiera, who kind of dabbled back into her magics and went back to her home plane to ask the good old Storm a few questions, where you discovered a lot of different stuff. How important that stuff is to your current predicament, well, that will let itself be seen. However, we finished off as you finished one of your new spells that you have been working on, where you try to delve into other people's dreams. And you specifically wished... That is my alarm, excuse me, because we usually play this time around. You wish to delve into Veltrix's head, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now I just have to look at one thing real quick, because now that I'm thinking about it, I actually have to look one specific thing, which is a character thing, because of his ways. Which I didn't actually consider. Bit of. Okay, no, I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't go against it. Okay. So, as you cast your spell and you created this kind of ritual circle with which you try to channel your energy through and release your body and get swooped away, which you do. And it would not take long, as kind of it feels first like you're flying through an empty space, or not an empty space, more like the hellish landscapes that kind of just drift by you, and all the colors, like if you're going at a very high pace or high velocity, kind of just start to merge together into a blur that then start to just kind of darken down until you step inside of a basically lightless room. However, you still see yourself, and you can feel like a bit of tingling in your fingertips, as if you are kind of going through something soft or something liquid or gassy that has enough density for your senses to pick up on, as if there's invisible materials that allows you to kind of create something, for a lack of a better term. And you can see kind of beneath you now that you kind of step inside of this room. It's not that it's not illuminated, it's just that light hasn't been placed inside of the space yet that would give light to the image. And lying on the ground in front of you, you can see the body of Bellatrix, who seems to be in his sleep.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't used this spell before, but if I create it properly, I can make it more comfortable for both of us. So I'm gonna make just a very basic, almost like an island beneath us, like an oasis you would see at like a desert. Try to have the ground come up, some beautiful trees, like a little pond with like the clearest water, and then a table and 2 chairs with up above a very, it's not quite the sun, but it's like a light source from like a light spell to just lightly illuminate, not too much, not too little, and see if I can manifest these things.
Yeah, as you kind of run your hand through and your fingertips also weave between the spaces that this room is kind of made out of, you can see and feel as your intentions kind of flow through your motions. The things you imagine get created by your will. As you run your arm over the floor, you can see there's a patch of green grass starts to sprout, and as you motion further up into the sky, you can see kind of branching out of the floor, a chair appears, and trees also sprout to create this kind of quiet cove, you could call it. That seems to be a very serene and peaceful place, the same way you've imagined it, and you can see that Bellatrix kind of stirs up a bit and almost like wakes up inside of your dream and just kind of looks haphazardly a little bit around, a bit confused. You can see he just kind of grabs his head and is like, "Oh Christ, where the fuck am I? What's going on? Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, what's your name again?"
Well, I'm a little insulted that you forgot, but lucky for you, we can get reacquainted. I'm Fear.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, I apologize. I got kind of butchered up on the head, you know. I thought you were dead.
I can imagine. Well, no, lucky for both of us, neither of us are, so why don't we talk? And the chair I made for him kind of scoots out of the table toward him.
Make a persuasion check.
Oof, that was almost a 2. It's undecided.
Kind of just looks around, confused and dazed. But he kind of just accepts the situation, and you can see he's still in like a dreamy state. And he just kind of picks himself up from the floor and kind of just stumbles his way to the chair that seemed to have pushed itself away from the table, and kind of just sits down inside of it and says, "Man, Jesus, where the fuck are we? I thought I was in hell."
Oh, you still are. I created this space so we could talk.
Created?
Unfortunately, we're kind of separated at the moment, so this is the best I could do.
Just looks around. You created the space? As in, like, where the devils?
Well, I could bring them about if you wish, but I think this is a little better.
Wait, what about Tenaria? Where is she?
And as he mentions her, off to the side, kind of in the grass, I recreate the floor of the tower that I last saw them on, and kind of like a shimmer of the 3 bodies in the way I saw them appear there.
Kind of looks at them, his eyes kind of grow up wise, like, wait, what the fuck? That's me! And Tenaria.
Yes, He
Where?
said you're still alive, but unconscious.
Okay. What fuck's going on? Is this like a dream or something?
Or something.
Something or something. But you're trying to tell me I'm still there.
Yes, you're in the tower that Jade was actually in.
Jade. Oh, the one we tried to free, right?
Right.
Yeah, what happened? We waited, and then we got assaulted by a bunch of fucking devils. Like, we thought they killed you.
Oh, they wanted to, but it seems they want all of us alive.
Alright, so... I mean, I think you owe me a bit of an explanation, right?
I do. And as we're sitting, kind of like a tray appears with, what would I drink? What would he drink? I don't know. A fresh tea kettle, and also a bottle of wine, both from Lichnius origin.
Mm.
And I take the tea, pour it in a cup, and give that to myself. Did you want something to drink?
Is this even real? Does it even matter?
I guess I'll let you decide that.
Fuck it, give me a bourbon.
Okay. A bottle of very fancy bourbon appears. Probably worth, hundreds of gold. I don't know. Probably the most expensive I've probably ever seen.
Yeah.
It kind of floats up, and also like a shot glass appears and it pours itself before floating in front of him.
Yeah, he kind
And
of...
then also there's like a cup of ice that appears right next to it.
Yeah, he just grabs the bottle and then just starts downing it. Like,
Well, that's one way to do it.
okay. Explanation.
Right. Well, it won't matter if you like it or not, because I'll just go with the truth. And now at a different location, I kind of point, and kind of off in the distance, kind of like it's separate from this oasis, a new spot appears that is a recreation of the tower. In the landscape around it, and there's a devil floating above and another like perched, and it shows almost like from above our group as we walked into the tower. And then I start just recreating the scene as best I can. Us talking to them, it not going extremely well, and then Izarel offering the location of their group, us waiting nervously, the sounds of the fights, and time passing, and them coming unconscious next to us. And then that's where I pause the scene.
Can definitely see a very disappointed face that quickly turns into rage, but he kind of holds himself together, actually. You can see him kind of just gripping the bottle a bit more furiously. And then after you kind of pause it, he just kind of looks at you and says, well, we're still alive, ain't it?
You are, and we're currently negotiating for your release.
It's a bit of a split in my mind of right now, and I'm sure you understand why.
Fully, yes.
On the one hand, I wish to strangle you. On the second hand, I wish to kiss you.
Okay, no, I don't understand that.
Because I presume we're still alive because you made some deal with the devil.
Currently, we've made 2, and both are fulfilled. And we plan to make a third, let's see, in about 30 hours.
Alright, what's that one gonna entail?
Well, and I kind of just wave my hand, and that tower disappears, and then I wave it back, and I recreate where we are now, but from like the distance when we were kind of being lifted in. Say, so this is where his boss was, and I recreate, Felcall, this fellow. We killed his boss for him so he could get promotion. He's actually quite happy with us now. So we plan to negotiate for your release and our freedom to continue with the journey together. We imagine there's going to be some requests from him. He mentioned that he had an ally and that he wanted future work because I assume he wants more promotions. I will put it forward. I don't plan to continue working with him if he won't let us reunite with you 3. Currently, there is no contract where we can't kill him now that we have fulfilled the previous 2.
Make persuasion check. With advantage, I was saying.
Ooh.
23. Kinda takes a deep breath in. Deep breath out. I can see that at least you have good intentions. Can't talk for your friends though.
Well, you are allowed to put them forth once we get you 3 back on your feet.
I just need some sort of guarantee that this won't happen again.
Guaranteed. Well, we could sign your own contract once you're back up.
No, we aren't devils. We should be better than them.
That's true.
We shouldn't need contracts to trust each other.
Guaranteed. That's tricky. I wouldn't be able to put one forth without my own companions.
I see that you are partially a woman of faith.
Tenuous faith at the moment, but I believe in certain individuals because I must. Because I can't do everything alone.
Then I think you are a type of person who usually tries to stick to their words.
I did, yes.
And that you use your powers to try and make the words that you have said become true.
I just like gesture outward. That is exactly right.
I am willing to trust you. However, I won't trust your friends.
I think that's fair.
And as for what has actually happened, let's keep that between you and me, and Tenaria and Gorn don't have to know about this. That will just make at least the journey onward a bit more easier.
Well, that's why I targeted you in the first place.
We just want to get out of here.
Oh. That would be wonderful. Currently, we're actually camped on top of a volcano.
Oh, at least better than being beaten to unconsciousness and stuffed inside of shackles inside of a broken tower, I guess.
Yes, actually, that's quite a bit better. But, right, well... I guess per the mission, because I do, bring out my arm and show the mark. This is the goal, right?
Yes.
And do you know the next steps? We were told, go get a part of the Sphere of Avernus. Some legendary thing. We don't even think it's an object. It could be a person.
A person?
Honestly, we just don't know.
Well, the only things we found out is that well, it's behind the Wall of Wound.
That sounds right.
Which is behind the Lake of Atonement.
Right, yes.
And that the Lake of Atonement usually proves to be quite difficult.
Right.
However, we have been here for quite some time, as I think you remember. And we used this time to kind of just stalk the devils and see the behavior, but it seems like most of them avoid the Lake of Atonement. We found out that the lake itself has some properties that, well, if you stay there too long, you kind of lose your mind a bit.
Oh, wonderful.
And that usually persuades anyone from going there. And we have, however, figured out the location of some sort of stone tablet where those who seek to cross it, I don't know, some sort of kind of riddle or something that gives a hint on how to actually cross the lake.
Well, wonderful. Okay. Well, I don't know how time works for unconscious people, but like I said, it'll probably be about 30 hours until we can make this deal. Then hopefully we can get you three back up on your feet, reunite with us, and we will head there. I'll try to find out what information I can through Felcall, as he is... Well, honestly, we did most of the work, to be honest.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you should see. Then I'll recreate, like, midway through the fight, this, like, flying devil with, like, a six-pack, a dragon, another dragon, lava spewing on the ground, hellhounds all around me and Izarel, Jade being like held while she's swinging her sword. Eirik on Heelys through like rubble. Like, like, do you see what I had to deal with?
Looks at it, it's like, you know, maybe it wasn't that bad that we got unconscious.
No, it wasn't. This was not fun, but we survived. And I'll do my best to make sure you all three survive too.
I keep your word to it then.
Very well. I'll just put up my hand.
Yeah, kind of stands up, puts the bottle of bourbon away, and then also just gives you a firm handshake.
And I didn't get your full name. I'm Fiora Kron.
Beldrix Warrington.
Very well. Well, I'll put you back into your slumber. Any last questions?
No. Just make me go with a good dream.
As he says that, I'll have myself fade away. The oasis kind of fades away. And what appears is like a starscape. Shooting stars. He's like traveling through it. There's like planets he's going by. There's moons. There's asteroid fields, and leave his consciousness to kind of like float through space.
That's actually terrifying, but okay. And you slowly leave the scape behind as the sounds of the dream that you have created also disappear slowly into the emptiness, and you reappear back to where you were before. And the other ones who are kind of just sitting around looking at Fiera, and she really is just kind of sitting in a meditative stance, similar to Isorel. After a good minute or so, as a few minutes pass, she then wakes up and comes back to consciousness.
Ooh, well, that was quite fun.
Did
It's good.
you?
I made contact.
Okay.
I talked to Veltrix for a bit. And got him up to date fully, as I kind of nod toward Azrael. You'll have to talk to him later, but oh, I think he'll use words.
I'll definitely talk.
Hmm.
He might not like what I have to tell him, but I'll talk.
Well, I'll leave it up to you.
He seems like a person who appreciates honesty, so
Yes.
I'll give
Yes.
him honesty.
Well, we should make our plans for our meeting with Falcal. As it seems, I think having those three will help us. They seem to have information of at least where to begin crossing the lake once we get to that point.
And how much time do we have until the meeting?
A little less than a day and a half, I would guess, if
Okay.
we calculated correctly.
Mm-hmm. Still some time. But if I have it right, we need to cross the lake. He mentioned a wall. I don't know what we do after that. I guess we see if the spear is in that gigantic thing, and we figure out how to get a piece of it somehow.
Do we have any idea how big this lake was? I can't remember.
You've only got a glimpse of it, but you can make a perception check. You are on a quite tall hill compared to the rest of the surroundings, so you could literally just go outside and try and see for yourself.
I'll do that.
Then make a perception check. 14. Good enough. It's gonna just stand on top of the observatory. You have a very good view of a vast majority of the surrounding landscape, which is probably why this spot was chosen as the supervisor's quote-unquote station. And as you kind of look to the north, which was the way you were traveling, a few miles outwards, you would estimate, you can see the beginnings of what looks to be a very flat red surface, which you might presume is what the lake is. And you can also see as you follow the river down, it kind of just ends there, and it seems to stretch quite far, but most particularly it goes very, very long across the horizon, and you don't see the end of where the horizon is. So it goes all the way to the right and all the way to the left, where you don't see the end of those. So kind of like a extremely long river per se, as it just kind of goes along something. But behind that, barely, you can also see a structure that you've seen before that kind of just edges at the other side of where the lake is some sort of very symmetrical structure.
Yeah, so whatever we do, it's going to be a long journey, I think, to get over that lake.
Yes.
I'm guessing a good old boat and oars are not going to cut it as well, you know?
I don't imagine so.
Not sure.
Unless there's some kind of like hell-specific boat that we just haven't seen yet, but I really doubt it.
I'm also guessing our new devil friends are not going to just lift us through that lake and put us on the other side.
It unlikely. I think they avoid the area actually. But it's something I think we could at least talk to them about. Because we should make. Then, currently our next step is talk to Falcal, make a deal, mostly so we can get our freedom back to go on our journey. I think it's time we find out the detail. Like, what do we want? Obviously, we're gonna have to give him something. He mentioned talking to a friend of his and future, help with his probably next promotion.
That is something, though, that we could add into our negotiation, that sure, we are helping him, but our ultimate goal is to get to that spear. So if he wants us to continue helping him, he needs to help us as well. Sure, like he has kept us alive so far, and he's been, I wouldn't dare say nice, because he is a devil, but he has seen how powerful we are. We can't go through an army of devils, but if we are able to corner him somewhere, he knows we have the capacities to take him down.
Right, so maybe something along the lines of neither our party or his will impede each other's goals from this point onward, as long as it's not.
Yep.
As long as it doesn't hurt the other.
Yeah,
either physically or status-wise.
Yeah, I just don't want to keep going on a wild goose chase all the time for him, and meanwhile we're not getting anywhere near what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Because as much as time is not passing as quickly here, things are still pretty bad at home, and we need to get on to that.
Yeah.
We need to stop that asshole, and I point to my arm. We need to stop that asshole before he makes absolute ravages and we come back to a home that doesn't exist anymore.
When she points to her arm, how does it look? Does it look the same as it has been since we've been in hell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you check it. And as you look at your arm after a long while, it seems to be bleeding.
Mine does or hers?
Yours does, if you check your own.
And then I'm just like, because my arm was all dried up and old looking, but it was still there. Now it's bleeding. I just like start talking out loud to myself as I'm processing this. Why is it bleeding? It wasn't bleeding. We've been here too long. I start mumbling.
What's going on?
He's been in our presence for too long. He's being corrupted by him through our arms. I'm guessing here from what we've understood so far about how this all works and how people go insane and crazy when they make deals with him and all that.
But we've been relatively, safe from him here.
I don't understand why, like, mine has never really been bleeding. I don't understand why mine is bleeding. Are we getting closer to what we're here for?
We're definitely closer to his home, quote unquote.
One thing is, a lot of his power comes from, well, his punishment. He was given some sort of divine blood magic, so River of Blood. It could be closer to the source. That makes sense.
I mean, I guess. I'm just alarmed.
Definitely. Which is why I want to get away from here as quickly as possible so that we can take care of him once and for all.
Right. Well, then let's rest up the best we can. Prepare for this negotiation. And make it clear that we are now partners, that he isn't above us, we aren't above him, we help each other. We want those three, we want to move on to our goal, and if he wants further help, then he has to help us. But also, if we want his help, we have to be open to future probably scuffles with him. But that's in the future.
Again, I'm all for gaining more knowledge and all that while we're here. So if getting into a kerfuffle with someone here for him brings us a step closer to our goal. We shouldn't say just no, you know? But I don't want to keep going on a chase for him while we get nothing.
Don't know how the the different, I don't know, factions of these devils work, but can we ask him what kind of communication he has between all the sort of groups around here? Like, would he be able to like send out, I guess, a memo to the devils around being like, hey, don't bother this group of people?
Hmm.
I mean, he might. We have his guards that are kind of up there.
He's also kind of the new overlord here around here, so I'm guessing they have a way of getting messages across to whatever other factions there may be. I have no idea how they work.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be that he just now has power over this little village town thing, and that's it. Or it's more widespread. But anyway, I think that might be a thing to ask. That's my contribution here, is to maybe not get direct passage by him and his guards, but if he can allow us safe passage from the others around, that would be great.
Well, seeing as the lair of his predecessor was so intricate and working with it, I'm guessing he's gonna be someone very influential now. So hopefully that is something we can get a little bit of a safety net, I guess. A little safe bet as we travel around.
Mhm.
Do we think he knows about the fire chrysalis?
He didn't seem like much of a practitioner of magic, what I could tell. So I'd be surprised.
Also, seeing as the mess we've created around, and I kind of point to like all of the dirt I made fly around, and his friends over there, and I point to the guards that we have, did not bat an eye. I'm guessing
True.
he doesn't really care for it, or else we would have had a visit.
Also, we never made an agreements of plundering.
Do not
So-
do not destroy
Yeah.
the lair or whatever.
I just wondered if maybe, I mean, if it would be something that he was gonna come back for, if he knew the power of his ex-supervisor,
We
would
can
he want that same power?
we can play the innocence card, just not talk about it, and if he brings it up, then we can discuss it. But let's
Well, yeah,
just...
I'm not saying I would bring it up. I'm just saying it could be if he wanted to take this role, did he mean that he wants to take the power, or did he just want to take the significance?
He looks, from what I've seen so far, he looks a lot more of a... He looks more of a soldier rather than a magic
Right.
user, so I'm sure
Yeah.
his style of ruling is going to be a lot more, fist and
True.
actual power, physical power, rather than us and our little magical things, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like if they wanted magical, why would they give me this horn?
True.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
He does
It-
have some respect for us in that he gave us food and a horn. So
Because, like,
something.
when he was questions about the horn, he basically kind of was just like, I don't know anything about it. Well, his minions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he has a strong arcanist by his side.
I think he killed his strong arcanist that he had on his side.
Very well could be.
That is the feeling I get here.
So, in that sense, then, why don't we suggest that maybe any type of weaponry that we find, or anything that could be used as potential, pieces to a new weapon or something, we bring back to him. Aside from the spear, like that spear aside, that's for us. But if we go and fight other things that have other weapons, or just at the very least a sharp rock, I don't know, but we can bring him things that could help him fortify his now new role.
So if we are on the, I think that's something we could add if it's not going well. That
Yeah,
we could be on the
little
lookout for objects for him.
extra. Yeah.
Items of magical worth of it. That's fair. Hmm. Okay. Well, I think I have the beginnings of what a contract could be. A lot will probably change once we talk to him, but at least have the base points written down. Well, I don't plan to go to town. I'm fine just resting until the meeting. Probably not now, but before the meeting, I could ask Tempestus for more questions. Or we could just focus on our tasks for now. So I don't think they could help us here. Unless Tempestus has an ally here.
Oh, yikes. God.
Ooh.
I think we've opened up enough cans of worms.
I think we have enough of a shopping list as it is of things we need to get answers when we get home. I feel like we're gonna spend a lot of time in those archives.
Yeah, that'd be nice, honestly.
Yes. Oh, we want the names of the moons if he knows them. Yes. Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of the moons, actually, did in the sort of cycles that we've gone through and all the times that we've slept while here in hell, has there been any like actual darkness and lightness, or is it just sort of red light the whole time?
Nope, I have mentioned this before. It's always the same.
Right.
Sometimes the clouds kind of lift over and you can see the moons better, but it's this ever somewhat dim, gloomy, present thing. The red moon kind of glows a bit more strongly and emits quite a bit of light, but other than that, you have never seen an actual source of light or the passing of a source of light, so it stays the same. which does kind of weigh on you a bit. Your what is it?
Among other things.
Yeah, among other things, but that's one that has been kind of slowly making you uncomfortably mad.
Yeah. And since I'm trying to figure out the hierarchy here, we've learned that there's someone named Bel that rules Avernus that Felcall calls, his god. But we've also heard of a Dracolith god that is an old god being punished. Do I think that's Tiamat or do I think that's Bel? That's something I can figure out from the information we've gained. Because I had to guess, I think Tiamat's the Dracolith god that's being punished, and Bel is like the ruler of just the Slayer, maybe? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't have nearly the, brain capacity to think about just gods in general, but then also devil, dragon, whatever's going on here.
Yes, it's complex. Okay. Okay, well, I'm ready to rest till the meeting then. I don't think I have anything else to do. Oh, unless you want to give lessons, Izrael.
I could.
I really want to learn at least the basic Draconic.
I can probably teach you some of the, greetings and
The
things like
tourist
that.
handbook, yeah.
Yeah, the greetings and the marks of respect, and those kind of things that could be useful when you're trying to talk to someone. And basically, I'm gonna teach them how to say hello, those sort of things, like the very basic that you learn when you learn a language, like where is the library, where can I use the washroom, Sam and Sue go to school, those type of things. And then once I'm done fucking with them, I will teach them actual stuff.
Yeah. Everyone.
But very basic things,
Yeah.
Not too complicated.
Then I will say everyone who wishes to learn can just make either a straight intelligence check. Fiera, you can use investigation because you're proficient with languages, and investigation
I am a
is
linguist. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll give you that. And everyone else can just make a straight intelligence or history check. Holy shit.
We can tell who the smart ones are in the group.
Yeah. Well, for Ike and Fiera, just because your memories or your kind of, well, for Fiera, it's it's just second nature. You hear a new language and you can kind of find a certain schematic or pattern within the language that you have to memorize, and with that schematic or pattern, you can kind of have a baseline and understand the complexity or the system of the language, which allows you to have a quite good grasp on how it works. Arik, however, you don't know many languages. You haven't learned a lot of languages. However, there's a specific attunement to this language that starts to grow on you. And though you don't really know much or ever really heard Draconic, there's your pronunciation surprisingly is much better than Fiera's, as you kind of repeat some of the words that Israel says, and it just kind of comes as second nature.
Yeah, of course it
The-
does.
Dragon Knight, you know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great.
Okay, well, if there's anything else anyone would like to do before we skip over to the passing of the 4 cycles of the Green Moon.
I guess at some point, like right before we take our last rest, I would try and contact the Archdragon once again, just to see if I can or not. But other than that, there's nothing else I would like to do.
Because I've probably seen her do this a couple times now, to no avail. As they're kind of getting into your trance, hey, can I ask what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. Um, I usually when I get ready for bed, I usually say a prayer to Servilon, and I kind of communicate with him that way. It's sometimes successful, sometimes not successful at all. But I'm trying to see if I can reach the Archdragon via my prayers this time around.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah. I
That's
use my
good.
faith to reach them.
I'm familiar.
Yeah. I knew you would understand.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher for me, so I have to use quite strong magic to do that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I'm curious to watch if that's okay.
If you want to, I don't mind at all.
Yeah, I'll just
And then
kinda-
Jade would look at Israel and be like, "You can do it this time." And then I just put my hands on you, and as I'm like giving you like pep talks, I'm casting guidance.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe in you.
That's wisdom, right?
Yep, I think I'm gonna say wisdom check. 2 people are staring at you. Well, we can't. What I got is 9. And the streak continues. Maybe it's now because 2 people are watching you while you're doing this, and that is a bit uncomfortable.
Well, since she's doing it while I'm watching, is there like a furrow to your brow or something as you're concentrating, or?
You would probably hear me sigh at some point because I'm getting frustrated with myself.
Is it not working? Do you want a hand? I know a couple
If you don't
divination spells.
mind.
I can try to smooth the way, and I'll chronal shift so you can roll again. And please don't get a 1.
And then as you can do this.
Oh, if she gets a 1, holy shit.
That's a lot better. Were you doing guidance on me again or not?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, I'll take a 16. It's the best I've had in like a month.
Okay, so after kind of stumbling around for a bit and not really knowing in which direction, well, how should we say it? Your mind is supposed to focus. Like I said, your mind is still split, though now you kind of ease your mind in going more in the direction of maybe the Archdragon, since maybe his affiliation with Servalon is a tiny bit different. And that's maybe what Fiera kind of reminds you of, as you kind of take a break. Like first you just instinctively start praying towards Servalon again, and then you realize, oh, it's not working. And then you kind of remember, oh, actually that's not the point of all of this, and instead you should focus on maybe someone who is or has been close with you, and the Archdragon has made his appearance, and you kind of got some of his aid, and so you focus more of your will and intentions on this somewhat tangible figure. What happens is you don't really or don't necessarily feel a connection towards the dragon, but instead you feel strong branches. And usually when you focus on like nature and specifically Servalon on your world, what you feel are roots, like the origins of something. However, now you get a strong sensation of a branch, which is an ending of something. Or more particularly, it is split. You don't know where the branches lead to. Same way as when you were kind of focusing on the roots and always, you know, try to focus on where they're going or what the tree might look like. It kind of just cut off at some point. However, part of the picture is now kind of getting a bit bigger and connecting itself. And you feel a connection even though you are not on your home plane. That it's still somehow, for some reason, connected to your home plane. And that is when you kind of open your eyes. And I presume you are doing it in the observatory, since you always have been. And you can see, as you open your eyes, one of the moons that is just right above you. It's the green moon that's kind of dimly glowing in the sky, and you can feel that one of the roots connecting this place with your world is on that moon.
I'm going to whisper in Draconic. Thank you for coming to our help.
And your attunement kind of slowly fades as it required a large amount of focus to kind of put yourself back into a different kind of weave or branch or tree. And you return back to your body with a different sensation. Maybe satisfied, maybe not.
For the first time in probably a vase or so, you can see a small, content smile on Iserel's face. And I'm going to look up to the sky and whisper again at the moon, thank you, in Draconic. Which now you guys all understand.
Yep.
Except Jade, who's like, what's that gibberish?
No, sounds like it worked. Well done.
I'm gonna whisper back, you're welcome.
What have I done? Should I? Hmm. I think I'm gonna say something crazy, and you can tell me I'm crazy. But I think somehow this green moon is connected to our home. There is a link there. There is something to it.
Whoa, boy, that's crazy.
Well,
So is it an actual moon still, or is this some like? Is it like a portal or something? Like, is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
Is
boy.
it another type of astral vestige with a god trapped in it? Is it an actual moon? Is it, I don't know. I don't exactly know. I have no idea. But I felt the Archdragon's influence. He's there somewhere. Or at least his spirit or his soul, I don't know exactly what, but I could feel him.
It could be a jail. I have a feeling the creators sent a lot of beings they punished to faraway places. Yeah, we'll have to find a way there. Not today, not tomorrow, but in the future.
Oh man, we're never gonna go home, are we?
Oh, we are going home. I want to go home ASAP.
I need to go home.
I'm sick and tired of this place.
Yeah, me too.
Right. And I'd like to know if I'm still under attack by the people of Tellus. I'd like to know if my mom's okay.
I, for one, would like to know if my dad is still alive.
Oh. I can now give you a spell so you can message him yourself. Not here, when we get back.
That would actually be amazing if I could talk to him.
Easily done. Okay. Well, let's cook some of their meat and get ready for another meeting.
Okay. So no one else?
So are we? So we're sleeping one more time, and then we have another full day.
No. This is basically, I said, like, what I wanted. That was like the last night before, the last sleep before we have the
Oh,
meeting.
okay. So did we already sleep? Like, can I mark off a long rest?
Yeah, sure. If we're basically just going through the next 30 hours that you had left, and then
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Because what I want to do needs a long rest taken.
Okay.
At some point I'm going to I already have a vial of blood that I collected from the wound from Calyx's mark.
Mhm.
I want to make a cut somewhere else on my body that isn't near the mark and collect my regular blood, just another vial of my regular blood. And I'd like to cast Identify with my goggles and look at both vials to see if there's anything different between my blood and the blood that came from his mark.
Okay. So you're basically casting Identify on both to kind of see the difference.
Well, that's what I wanted to find out. Like, I can only use one charge of Identify, but I was hoping that just holding them two, like, kind of next to each other, I'd be able to just get...
Okay. Yeah, I would say you could basically put them in the same vial and then see if the mixture would, if you would get a split in your identification, that would say, oh, this is
Okay.
that and that. That's probably what Eric would do if you only have one charge.
Yeah, that makes sense. If there's any... I want to see if there's any kind of difference at all between the two fluids.
Okay, you kind of do that and mix it around, and then you kind of cast Identify on it. And what you get is a greater healing potion.
What the... Excuse... Huh. What?
That's some good blood there.
Whoa! What? Whoa. Okay. Guys. Guys.
Yes.
Something happened.
What did you do?
I
Who
mixed.
do we need to kill?
No killing. I mixed. I was just curious. I took a sample of my blood and I compared it to a sample of the blood that I took out of the bleeding mark from what's his face. I just put them together and I mixed them up and like I made a greater healing potion.
You what now?
I don't know. I like in the identify, am I able to tell sort of like the properties of it, like which held the power to make the potion? Like I don't know. I want to know like if there's any extra information that I can gather from how the greater potion is actually created from two sources of blood.
Yeah, it seems like usually things with healing properties come either that a magical source that has innate healing abilities, like most natural stuff, or things that enhance growth or recreation. You know, like the recreation of cells and stuff like that that just help you grow and heal wounds. Or if it's something that is extremely close and similar to you, like, you know, a lot of blood magic actually, that which you have read in the library, was used as healing before, because, you know, blood is a part of your body and can heal stuff. And you would now know that the closer the source is to your origins, and that I'm talking globally speaking, not Iric specifically, but globally speaking, is what allows for greater magics to be used as healing properties. So one ingredient that you have used has an innate property of what belongs to something that is extremely, how should we call it, fundamental to what you're made out of.
Wait.
Iric's mind's like melting.
Kit's brain just freaking exploded because now I have a theory. What if the reason we need to get that freaking spear is because Calyx is the one that actually put it into Eve? And what's spilling out of our mark is not our blood, but Eve's blood.
I think that's close. If I had to guess, I think the creators speared her though, but I do think it is divine blood. So it sort of makes sense. And what's cutting? Are we We were told only a divine being can grab the spear.
Yep.
Yes.
We have the mark.
Yes.
So as long as blood keeps coming out of the mark,
I don't think
I
the
mean,
mark's going away anytime
well, I
soon.
know, but
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Jack.
Yeah.
based on what
Yeah.
based on what I have been tasked with learning about, does that ring any bells with what the organization already knows?
Yeah, you can make
Sorry,
a.
I'm trying to be really cryptic
yeah,
right
yeah. You can make a history check, and actually, Iric, you can make an Arcana check.
oh,
I'm gonna
Hey.
give myself guidance.
And I guess Fiora can also make an Arcana check since Iric told you about it.
Magic. Yeah.
Yeah, this is absolutely not Isorel's
Yeah.
domain.
Seems-
Not at all. Like, this is far away from what she knows.
Okay, so that's a 9.
why did that roll a d4?
I think because that's your proficient
I think when you work on magical items, you get a bonus.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember it ever doing that before.
It's a 10 and a 9, so
Yeah.
10 plus 9.
Oh. Oh yeah, 10 plus 9 plus 3.
Yeah.
So it's a 19. So it's the same as Fiera. Jade's not like nothing specific is kind of coming in your mind what they're talking about. It's like divine blood, and the organization questions divinity, whether or not that has kind of, or if the origins of what you're looking for stems from divinity, though your organization believes that it's something completely different, since not even divinity can influence it. You know what I'm saying? And with Ike and Fiera, you're like kind of jostling around, and you're thinking, you know, about the nature of this blood and whether or not it's divine, and why, because you looked underneath it with your identify spell, I guess you would also get like the nature of the magic itself, and you both kind of know, because you're arcanist and you use arcane magic and not divine magic, that divine magic is invoked and somewhat borrowed from somewhere, and that arcane knowledge is either innate, which means the properties exist within the source itself, or it gets created through through manipulation of the weave. Divine magic is in its own sense kind of pure, and then you just kind of cut it up and it becomes whatever you want it to be. While arcane is the opposite. You kind of have bits and pieces which you have to put together to create something. And your identify says that this blood is a fragment of something that is innate, which means it cannot by nature be divine. In fact, it's the exact opposite of divine, which is why it's kind of strange why it would give you healing properties.
Ooh.
Just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? I mean, I'm gonna hold up a dagger and be like, I can try it on you guys.
I'm good.
No?
Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead. Take my blood, and
I'd hand out my arm too.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh shit. Okay. I didn't think you'd...
If you make some damage, I can heal myself. Jade can heal me. I can heal Jade. We're fine. This is a time for experiment.
Oh, I mean, I'm not planning on like doing any damage or anything. I just...
No, of course, but I'm just saying, like, now is the time to try. Go ahead.
Yikes. Okay. Go into my bag and fish out some vials. Okay. Izrael, you're first. I'm gonna take my dagger and just carve a little... I'm gonna trace the mark a little bit to get some blood flowing out of the mark. And then I'm gonna just, on her other arm, I guess, just make a cut and see if blood flows, first of all.
Yeah, like you cut and it bleeds like a wound is supposed to.
Okay. I'll start collecting a little bit from one cut and then collect a little bit from the other and start shaking it up and mixing it up like I did mine.
Yeah, you mix it up. Becomes dark, wet liquid.
See, the problem is I don't have Identify. I've already used it.
I can always cast it.
I mean,
Just
we're
take
going
the
to
mark.
bed later anyways, so we're gonna...
You have time.
Yeah.
This takes me a few minutes.
All right, here we go. Mix. Dark red liquid. Izrael's hopeful potion. Here we go. Take a look.
Boom, you cast Identify, and it is Isor's blood.
Interesting.
Mm,
It's Irik's dragon blood.
Do we want to try mine?
You do have a shadowy thing. I don't know if it would work the same as what's happening with Irik and his becoming a dragon thing.
I don't know, but I mean, it could help. I mean, science is science, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I do have
it's
divine natures,
I mean,
Not
now
the
we
same,
know.
but
Now we know we have a potion maker in the group.
Well, I mean, let's not go crazy. I don't want to like lose all my blood. That's
I'm joking.
you're kind of not though. I can tell.
I know, and you know me too well.
Jade, if you want.
probably be pointless, but you can try.
We're learning.
All right. Well, is there fresh blood still coming out of her wound at this point, or do I have to cut it again?
Like, it's not pouring by any means. It's like, when you get like a fresh cut and then there are like these small bubbles that start to, disappear.
Yeah.
So it's like minuscule amounts that you can try and scoop up, but it's more like it will leave just smudges on the glass rather than, actually filling the vial in any meaningful. Like, when you filled your vial, it was like literally pouring down, which is what.
Yeah, it was actively bleeding.
Yeah, exactly. So you definitely wouldn't get nearly as much from what's happening with Jade, but obviously you can still cut it and it will bleed more.
Yeah. I'll cut it and do the same thing.
Yeah, and do that. Collect some of the blood, mix it together. Fiera then ritually cast Identify, and it's Jade's blood.
Ah, Jesus. Okay,
Yep,
so
it's-
the possibilities here are that you'll never be as powerful as me, or we have to wait until your wounds are actively bleeding like mine was when I collected the blood. Because maybe the source of the blood, or maybe the blood itself is different when it's actively bleeding than when you just cut into it.
And I think it has to do with the fact that you're turning into a dragon.
I'm not disagreeing.
You're turning into a dragon knight, like.
Yeah. I think it has to do with that rather than the wound itself.
But I mean, it could be that the blood just needs to be extra fresh and be like you're saying, where it just needs to be flowing. I mean,
We'll have to-
maybe like when you cut into the mark, it's more our blood than it is the blood of the mark.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking now. Maybe even if I'm the only one that this can work on, it might still only happen if I collect the actively bleeding blood. In whatever case, I've run out of vials. So I'm not going to be able to do this until I find more things that I can use to collect more blood in.
I have one empty one from the potion I used earlier.
All right, give it.
You know what we
That
could
was my potion
do?
anyway.
Yes, it was. It was.
You know what we could do? We now have 2 vials of blood that...
I'm not doing blood magic, but
No, we're not doing blood magic. But Falcal gave us some water skins that contain actual blood because they do drink blood. We could add the vials of our blood into the contract negotiations.
I don't want to give my blood to a devil.
No, that sounds ridiculous. Listen, a lot of this stuff has been ridiculous. That sounds stupid.
That sounds dangerous.
I was just saying.
Yeah, let's not jump from I can create a greater healing potion with blood to let's give our blood to a devil. That's not a Not a good shift.
Why
Let's
not?
keep our blood to ourselves.
Who knows what they would do to it? I highly doubt they would just drink it.
Considering that they do indeed drink blood, I think they would drink that as well.
I don't know. I don't want to take any chances.
I was just suggesting. It's a
Vera-
stupid idea.
I don't even know what to say.
How much identifying can you do?
It just takes me a few minutes. I can do it ritually.
Oh, you can do it ritually. Okay. I mean, I'm curious. Do we want to know what kind of blood is in those water skins? I'm kind of into, identifying like everything now because we've realized a lot in the last couple of days.
I definitely haven't drank one, so why not?
I don't intend on drinking any either.
I'm not going to drink the blood, but I'm going to drink this other stuff.
Okay,
Go
I'll
ahead.
grab whichever one is the most irony and dark and doesn't look whatsoever like water.
Yeah, getting one of the water skins filled with iron liquid,
Hmm.
and you cast identify on it. Okay, and actually I don't know, would identify tell you the source of the blood?
I have no idea. If blood is magic, maybe.
Okay, it is blood from hell. Is the source. Is from hell. And you have seen the landscape of hell, and it is covered in wet and very crusty most of the time, and you get the feeling there are a lot of blood sources here. And blood, kind of in a similar vein as, natural water springs appear in our world, presumably appears somewhat naturally in hell instead of normal water.
Right, that's... Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's why it's
Yes,
hell
it's blood. Yep.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take the 2 vials from Jade and Izrael's blood back, and I'm gonna just dump them out into the water skin, I guess, and try to clean them out. Cast mending on it, I guess. Does mending clean?
I have prestidigitation as you
That's better.
try to figure that out.
Okay, I'm back up to 3 vials that I can use for potential potion making.
Did you keep my vial when you poured my potion into me during one of the battles? Had anyone kept it?
I took it and then I fed it to you. I probably would have just put it down. So if you picked it back up.
I don't think Isara would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Coming back from the dead, basically. Where's the vial?
Isara doesn't use potions. She used magic to heal herself. So she would not have thought to pick an empty vial up.
Yeah, I don't think I would have either since you were unconscious
Yeah.
and the landscape was burning and demon
Yeah.
devil.
No big deal. Next time we go outside, if we look around and find it quick, then good, but I'm not so worried. 3 vials is more than enough for right now.
Good.
Okay, I guess that concludes. Unless someone says
Arcane Aura. I'm not gonna forget 18 and 19 during those 2 days.
Okay.
So I'm getting closer.
Was it 30?
30, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, I started this a while back, but I guess Israel, can I have my scroll case back since you used the scroll?
Yes, there you go.
Thank you. I'll finish the enchantment. We'll probably find another scroll. So.
Okay. then that was the last of your guys's, I guess, downtime activities, we can call them. And
Not a whole slot to do in hell.
yep, you spend kind of your final long rest after you think that Felka is gonna approach you guys again, and that is also where we're gonna take a quick break, and we will see what happens after that. What happens to these suddenly chemists, experiment friendly individuals, like first grade chemistry or alchemy conjunctions. But yeah, hey, you got a greater healing potion. Who would have guessed? I was wondering.
Hopefully to get used and not eaten by a demon like the last one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe it will find better use this time around. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, so we're gonna just say bye for now. We'll see you guys in a minute. Bye. Alright, we are back. That was just me going out of control for once. All the time. Yeah. So the day passes. You basically take your long rest, or last long rest of the many, so you can just write that off. Your each probably have full hit dice, since half of them will cover after each long rest. You took 3 in total, and have all of your stuff back. So spellcasters, choose your spells. So please have your spells chosen. And I say spellcasters, you all are literally spellcasters, which is insane.
I'm only like
Sierra and I get
half-caster.
mean.
Yeah.
So like I don't have nearly as many spells as they do to go through.
Which is a good thing, otherwise we would be here for
Yeah.
ages. Which would be a different kind of campaign.
All wizard campaign.
Oh,
That-
jeez.
That'd be insane.
I'm gonna do
This-
this.
They just start fighting each other for the spell scrolls.
Yeah, literally. It is
Just
a battle royale
rank.
for the spell books.
Yeah. Yeah, it passes, and then you just kind of chill around, have probably like a quote-unquote breakfast, even though you don't know which time of the day it actually is. And kind of after a few hours or so, promptly and unannounced, Felkal would show up. Fairly undramatic, though he does now wear a cloak. Unimpressive.
Shopping.
Just like a very tattered, dirty, old robe. It seems like they just kind of put behind his back to look a bit more, I guess, menacing or something. Or maybe he's just taking his new position very seriously and has made a new fashion statement. Or maybe he's just following in the footsteps of Vulcan, who also wore a coat, and he's like, maybe I will just do the same. Whatever his motivation may have been for choosing this very dirty looking cloak, he still presents himself, still wielding the staff. And you can see that he's also accompanied by 4 of his men. And I guess you would just kind of chill in your tower, I presume. Or would you step out? I mean...
Yeah, I guess I'll cast tongues. Do we want to invite him in? I don't want to invite him in. Do I want? Ooh, you know what? I'll roll if I invite him in or not.
Ooh.
I'll say 1 to 10. I don't. Well, that's a D10. That's not fair.
I mean, that's a clear sign.
Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll cast tongues. Let everybody know they've arrived and open the door. Invite him inside.
Yeah, he kind of just... nice change of pace visiting inside of your tower this time. He just kind of...
Oh, By the way, the plane is still going because after the first 24 hours, Isara would have cast hallucinatory terrain, so it's not, it hasn't faded off yet from the second time. So there's like a nice plain and like grass and stuff around, and it looks like Earth, quote unquote, around us.
Yeah, they don't seem to be that. Well, the guards that kind of accompany him just kind of look curiously around, but as they swish their feet, they realize it's just an illusion and they just kind of shrug it off. Though some of them still seem a bit bamboozled by it and just kind of swing their sword at the fake grass. Kind of see if they can chop it, but then also realize it's an illusion. And I'm a bit disappointed, actually.
Oh.
Actually, you could just make an insight check.
They wanted to see grass.
Nah.
Oof.
Yeah, they're still weird creatures. They don't really have facial expressions, so whether or not they look happy, angry, or whatever emotions they might be trying to portray, it's hard to read on their very dragon-like, scaly faces. So you're just like, meh. Yeah, and he kind of steps inside, and four guards kind of just follow him in. And it's a bit cramped now.
Oh, that's gonna be cramped.
yeah.
That's
Since, like,
Yeah.
9 people inside of here. And he's like,
I'll go up the floor
okay.
and I'll just like stick my head down through the hole.
Mhm.
well, would you all like something to eat? We should have some leftovers. Prepared a quick dish.
I see my food has arrived you well then. That is glad to hear.
Yes, it's filler bellies funny.
Well, then, to update you all, I have updated the individuals of their new supervisor as of now, and have established my rule, at least within this vicinity. I sure hope that this will spread and continue.
When you say this vicinity, how big of an area are you now in charge of?
Well, there aren't very specific of the zones that are marked out for, well, now I'm a lieutenant. It's kind of up to grabs in games, depending who's there first. But usually it's within everything that you can see from up here that is under my, well, more or less control.
It makes sense. I was kind of expecting something like that.
But I am now quite curious what your ambitions are now. As I have said, I think we have established quite a good relationship, and I would like to keep it so.
Well, I think we'd like the same, actually. It's good to work with somebody with ambition.
I agree.
Well, I guess you or me, Azathia.
Yep. To
Well-
be 100% completely honest with you, our ultimate goal is obviously to go home.
Yes, of course.
Let's not beat around the bush here. I think you could guess that we don't want to stay here forever. However, we know that it's not going to be easy, and if we can have allies on our side, then we can probably work something out, right? And I turn around to Fiera to kind of give her the floor.
Right. I'm sure you have missions as well in the future. So a continued friendship is actually something to look forward to, as it's actually nice to have a contact here. But we need to continue onward. We would like the three freed and returned to us so that we could continue on our quest. We're still trying to figure out what that entails, but those three have information we need.
Very well then. That makes sense. But let me ask you, how do you plan to leave hell? It is
Ooh.
specifically designed to be easily accessed, but extremely difficult to exit.
Hmm. Have you heard of punished individuals who have the power to command demons of blood?
Demons of blood. We do not know of any such creature that would possess the ability to control demons. Or actually. Though, on topics like these, I would know an individual who could have further answers.
I see. Well, let's say we came here in the first place to find a means to end them. So that's our first step. I guess. We're friends, right?
Yes, friends.
Good. Then I can trust you with what may be sensitive goals.
Let's share sensitive goals, since I have some of my own.
Of course.
I
We
trust.
seek the spear of Avernus.
His eyes gonna go like open, and the other guards inside of the room are gonna look at each other. Quite the large goal you have there.
Well, we do hope to make it smaller. We don't need the entire thing, but a fragment would be enough to defeat this conjurer of bloody demons.
Access to the divine weapon, which is responsible for creating this purgatory of ours in the first place. Interesting.
Well, we are quite ambitious ourselves.
Yes. I do believe that we can help each other out. Yes, I think it is time that you meet the individual that I have been speaking about. You once asked me who I follow,
Oh, right.
and you remember my answer, don't you?
I believe so, though. I guess I'm curious. There seem to be many individuals that rule here above each other, so are you speaking of Bell or someone else?
Yes, Bell, ruler of Avernus. But since you have shared your goal, I might as well share mine. My answer was a lie. I do not follow Bell. years old and crooked ways which has kept our kind locked and chained in this place. But believe me when I say that you and I aren't so different. We too wish to escape from this damned place. It is no fun living under their rules. It is no fun fighting for our lives, obeying commands of people who we do not respect.
I think we actually do see eye to eye.
So, the person I wish you to meet is someone who I truly follow. Someone who has given us a new hope that we can maybe sometime in the future be able to escape this place. It will still be a long drawn goal, but the work can be started now.
Well, I guess not to speak too highly of myself, but my locket kind of starts coming out. If you have me as an ally, I think time's on your side.
Yes. You are all valuable allies. And I'm grateful that I chose not to take your souls. Your life seemed to be much more valuable than just currency. No.
Appreciate it.
Enough appraisals. He just kind of walks towards the door and he says, "Please follow me outside."
All right, everyone, time for a trip.
Before I follow him, Isarel's gonna take a second to kind of study him and trying to now that she knows that he actually lied to us, she's gonna try to see if he's trying to pull them into a trap or not.
Yeah, can make an insight check.
Okay.
That is a 9 once again. Oh no, at 19. Sorry. He seems to be extremely forthright right now. He has revealed quite a bit of sensitive information that can be heavily used against him, if obviously brought to the right person. And it doesn't seem like he's taking you to a trip. He just wants to lead you outside of the door, and that's about it. Is what you gain. In fact, as he just kind of goes to the door and opens it, you see no, like, he seems relatively comfortable around your presence now, and a lot more self-confident. Like in the beginning, he was like still a bit shy, I guess you could say, or very on edge all the time. But now he doesn't seem to have this kind of active hostility towards you. And as soon as he opens the door and kind of goes out, and I guess Fiera is the first one to leave, do all of you go out and follow one of the tower?
Yep.
I would stay close to Eirik and Jade though, to kind of fill them in on what was said inside.
Yeah, and as soon as you step out, you can see that Felkai kind of starts mumbling a few words, Kunalaishki kas oka eakoski. And doesn't make much sense to Fiera or
I would have tongues up.
yeah, but it doesn't seem, and that's
Oh.
you check. It's not really a language, but rather more like a how should we call it? A divine prayer is the best way to say it. And as soon as it finishes, you can see a small circle of fire start to brighten up in front of the tower. That kind of blazons up into a larger inferno, which for a moment you get a bit nervous as the fire gets pretty damn close, though the heat emitting from it doesn't emanate dangerously towards you. It's just the fire proximity makes you a bit nervous. Though you have been so close to fire this entire time that you are a bit more relaxed than if you weren't on the top of a volcano. And as soon as the fire kind of just fades out a bit, sizzling down, you can see that behind the wall of fire is the silhouette of a figure standing there. You can see the shape of a elongated neck that is almost serpentine, that ends in a very distinctive dragging looking head, similar to the dragons you have been talking to, though the horns that are behind him are kind of cracked and broken, and he has a bit of hair that seems to be coming from his chin and a bit of hair from his back. But something that catches your eye more, other than its really elongated neck, is this figure doesn't have any wings, but wears sort of like robes. And as the fire dissipates a little bit more, you can see its form more clearly. He also has like these wooden plaques kind of just attached, similar to necklaces in front of him, that kind of just sits like either ornaments or maybe very badly crafted armor in front of its person. And what you see is this as the figure comes into more of view, and
Come on.
Felkal says,
The heck?
Well, hello there.
"This, my friends, is High Priest Kamir Shah. We do not refer to him as our leader. However, he is the one who has started our movement against Bel."
Can you repeat the name?
It should say on the note actually, Kamir Shah.
Oh. Actually, a lot simpler than I thought.
Looks old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually also impressions that you would get from the kind of broken bones.
I love the tiny noodly arms on the big thing.
Yeah, and this figure is quite tall actually, which I forgot to mention is that he is about 8 feet tall, though with his slunched head. Like with his slunched head, he's 8 feet tall, but he could probably get 3 more feet up if he just lifted his head high. Though he seems to be, as you mentioned, old age, and he kind of just crookedly swings his head towards you as the flames to kind of vacantly rage on his side, and he says, "Greetings, friends of Felkal. My name is Kamir Shah. A pleasure to meet you all."
What is he speaking? What language?
He's speaking Draconic. Wait, no, actually, he would be speaking Common.
Okay.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go up and kind of like curtsy. It's an honor
Yep.
as well. I am Fiera.
I'm gonna come up as well, put a knee down and bow my head, and speak to it in Draconic and introduce myself in Draconic.
I'm just gonna wave from like behind Izrael.
Yeah, I'll take a couple steps forward, but not get much closer. And I'll just say, Iric.
There is no need to worry. I mean no harm. The opposite. I believe that we both can be quite useful to each other.
Well, I think a lot of people deserve freedom and a second chance at a better life. So yes.
I am glad to hear that you agree. As you might can tell, I have grown quite old. But when I first arrived here, I was quite young. This place has scorned us all. You can see that the Felkal and the other guards also just kind of look down and just kind of nod in agreement to what he's saying. This place has rusted us. Our scales flake, our claws break, all in purpose of forgotten, lost puppets of the gods. And all we wish is to be freed from this curse.
Well, we come here because we're cursed as well. So I think we can see. Well, I'm afraid I'm not as tall as you, but as eye to eye as one could be.
I'd lower myself to meet you. No one's higher than the other. Those are the rules of the gods, not of our kind. I have heard from Felkal, and I snooped in a bit that you wish to gain access to the Spear of Avernus.
Ooh, I gotta put words in the tower. Yes, that is our current goal. We need a piece of it so that we can rid of someone who's putting our kind at risk.
Yes. And I also hear that you would like to have 3 souls that we are currently keeping in stock. Weed again.
Yes, if I understand, they are on the same path as us, and even if you tried to take their souls as their own currency, they are marked. So I believe if they were to fall, their souls would go to those who mark them.
You are very astute, I see. Yes, indeed, their souls are quite useless for us.
See, then there's no reason that you need them.
Except as a tool to bargain with you, of course. But I want to show you that we can work together and that I can help you gain what you need here. But of course, I wish to have something in exchange as well.
Well, as I'm sure Felcall can back us up, we have completed 2 deals and tend to stick to our word. So, what can we do for you?
Yes, Falcao has talked about your impressive deeds that you have done for him, which is why I decided to approach you personally. What we seek, unfortunately, does not exist in the planes of hell, which makes it quite impossible for us to gain access to. I have been trying for a long time to gain the allegiance of souls that have not been chained to this place, and it seems like I have found some valid candidates.
You, if I hear correctly, you wish for your name to be spoken in our plane, and that people pledge allegiance to you the way that I once pledged allegiance to Servilon, as an example.
No, no. I do not wish to follow in the same footsteps as the gods. I do not wish anyone's prayer but my own. What we seek is something a little bit more different. Instruments. Keys. As I have mentioned, our purpose and goal is to try and get out of here eventually. Though under the rule of Bell, that is quite impossible. He has dedicated himself to the plan of the gods. He thinks if he follows their rule, he will someday be forgiven. And we all know that that will never happen.
Well, that oddly sounds familiar. So if I'm following correctly, you've been put here in was more or less a divine jail in this plane, and there is a key that can let you out that is elsewhere.
It is not quite that simple. the complications will still be left up to us. There are 5 keys that we require. I don't know if you are aware, but a Dracolith god lays sealed within Avernus.
We have actually heard.
Yes, and the keys that have sealed these gods have been placed within your home plane.
He wants to release Tiamat. Oh boy. Okay, back up.
With the help of our free Dracolith god, we will challenge Bel in his rule over Avernus.
Obviously, this could take time. A war would begin. Who knows who would win it, but let's say that you and this Dracolith god do come out ahead. Where would you want to go?
Back home.
Where's home?
Where you came from. Trust me when I say we walked the same earth a long time ago.
Oh, I, for one, believe it 100%. Which brings a small question, for me. Some time ago, we walked upon ruins of what looked like the home of Dragonborns, perhaps. And there was the effigy of an archdragon there. So my question is, were you there when my people crossed from the Feywild?
Which year is it that you were born?
Shoot. I don't think I have it written down somewhere.
You're saying when you were born?
Yeah.
You do know how old you are.
Yes. And we are the year... Hold on.
The year is 3592 PE. $3,992?
590.
592 minus, so Heuser is, hold on.
I mean, you don't have to say the exact.
Yeah, no, I'm just, yeah. I was born in the year in the year 3480 something.
He kind of looks at you with a somber look, and he says, I believe whatever you talk about is far past the time when I was sent here. I do not recognize your date. Though
The day when the elves came to this plane, to my plane, to where I live now. I'm talking before the war, before thousands and thousands of years ago.
we were placed here in the year of 9390 AC. I do not recognize your kind, child. I do not know what an elf is.
I'm going to think, and then in Sylvan, I'm going to say, does this language that I use sound familiar to you? Do you recognize any patterns of what I'm saying right now? And I'm just saying like simple phrases to see if it rings a bell to him at all.
You said in Sylvan?
Yep.
Guy just squints his eyes and he says, I do not recognize this language.
I have a question.
Wait.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So Izarel said when she was talking about where she came from and whatever, she referred to herself and her people as her people or people of her kind. She never mentioned elf, but he said, I do not recognize elves.
No, I did say elves.
Yeah,
Oh, you
pretty sure
did?
she did.
I did
Yeah.
say elves.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
okay.
I did say elves. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. He said when the elves crossed over.
Yeah.
I take that back. I always forget that they have also modifiers. Okay, now I have to look this up. How it's gonna answer. Yes. I never had much contact with people of the Moonweaver.
I freaked out so much that my boyfriend was like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, Isarel would then exhale, like probably the deepest sigh of relief. Like finally she's starting to connect some things. Well, I appreciate the notions you just told me. I'm trying to make sense of everything that is happening back home. And it seems like our history, and I kind of point to myself and towards him, and like a little everyone that has pointy ears. It seems like our past is connected somewhere, and I want to find out what happened, and I want to restore things.
I must say, the amount of change change in humans has been quite drastic. You all look quite different from back then.
Well, to be honest, we were pushed to extinction not too long ago and barely were able to come back from the darkness.
But where are your horns?
I'm guessing I've never heard of a human having a horn.
Well, you know.
I mean, I can think of other races, but not humans.
Yeah, no, it's not human specifically. You can see he looks like, like an old man who looks at like a teenager who has colored hair and tattoos and piercings and stuff like that. That's
right,
kind of how he's
right.
looking at you. And then says, "You have an image similar to the Father of Light." Kind of looks at you, Fiera, and then his eyes go over to you, Irik. And then he says, "And you too seem like you have traits of the mistress of the evening veil. But no horns. Interesting."
I'm gonna run my hands through my hair out of instinct just to feel if anything is there.
Oh.
Yeah, no horns. You don't feel a sun bump. It's like, holy shit.
Jesus.
Is Eirik worried he's going to be growing horns now?
No.
Well, I mean, no. I sort of would start saying, no. And then stop herself before she says something she's not supposed to.
Well, a lot's changed, and a lot will continue to change, it seems.
It seems so.
So, you said that you were put here. What put you here?
Punishment.
Punishment for what?
We went to war against the gods, and we chose the sides of the humans. Though now I'm not quite sure if you are the same as back then.
I can probably honestly say that definitely not. We are not. That is for sure.
The world has changed a lot.
And not for the best.
Well, returning to a broken home it is then. This does sadden me a bit.
Well, for what it's worth, I don't know about them, and I point to my friends, but I've made it a goal to myself to at least save the history so that it doesn't repeat itself and gets back to another war against the gods.
As for myself, I've made a promise to myself to not let others suffer the way that I have. So in a way, I want to make things better.
Quite generous goals, I see. It seems as though people have grown humble with time. That is nice to hear.
Well, there aren't too many like us from what I've seen, but the ones that are, we try to make friends with. So we're hoping you're along the same line of thinking.
I, just as my friends, only wish to be free once again. To leave this place. And perhaps have a peaceful death at least. That you won't find here, I can assure you that.
Well, let's talk business.
Very well. I think this can be kept quite simple. I am willing to give back the 3 lives that are currently in our possession, and also aid you in your endeavor to gain access to the Spear of Avernus. I have some information that could prove to be quite useful, and in return, the only thing I ask for is that you take your time to find at least one of the 5 instruments could help us release our Dracolith god.
I think that's
And-
doable.
What are these instruments?
Exactly that. They are instruments. They have been crafted by a divine crafter. Vilkzanhala. Anyone?
What?
I can't begin that one.
I can't either.
Divine craft of music. Okay,
A
so
literal instrument.
any guesses?
Nope.
No.
Can you repeat it?
One more time.
Vilkzanhala.
I know. I got halfway and they just turned into mess.
Mhm. Oh my god. Jade. God, that's completely different. Well,
Yeah,
the well, actually, the Hala's correct.
Hello.
I would say that Eric once again was the closest.
Oh,
Oh, Minecraft or music. Ooh, that's a fancy title. Nobody's a bard.
We're gonna run in
Where's
to
Orion?
fucking yeah. We're
Oh no!
God damn it.
And you will have to.
It's all tying together. The one shot, the survivor.
And you will have to kill him to gain this divine instrument.
Oh man, that's cool. I hope one of them's like a drum set. That'd be sick.
It's funny because that's what Orion's instruments were.
Oh,
Yeah, he had drums. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Continues to say, these instruments are known as the Pentasong keys. There are 5 of them.
You said Pentasong?
Yep, Pentasong.
Okay.
Forgive me for butting in. I know I'm not really part of the conversation at hand right now, but are these hidden places, like dangerous secret places? Are they out in the open and no one knows about them?
Unfortunately, it was out of pure fortune that we even know of these keys in the first place. As I have stated, they are within your plane, not ours. So you will have to try and find out more about them in your own realm.
I kind of lean to Fiera and I whisper, do your people know about these?
But I feel like they wouldn't, but are there famous instruments among the Lichnius people that everybody comes to listen to?
Or locked up?
Or like magic instruments that are famous throughout the lands?
Yeah, you can make a history or not a kind of religion check, and you have both. You can make advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, proficiency both. I mean, obviously.
I have proficiency with religion, actually. It's garbage.
27. Holy shit. You know of one divine instrument that is somewhat famous in the Lichnius Biblicum, that is a not a trumpet, but like a horn that is kind of often in a used as a calling sign for the for a apocalyptical purpose. Apocalypse not referred to in our typical modern sense as in the end of the world, but a divine message of God, and often referred to as the angels coming down to earth to either purge or something like that. So it's like a heaven's call. However, you think with its 27 that probably is not one of the instruments that they are referring to.
It sounds like it has a different use.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, to bring forth a, you know, the kind of foretold of apocalypse or something like that.
Oh boy. Okay. You're just thinking. That can be easy. Oh god, shoot. If I took legend lore, it would be piece of cake.
Yeah.
Nope. I even thought about it too. Okay. Well, I think I can promise we'll try. As long as there's no time limits, I think it's something we can accomplish eventually. A lot of things have been lost, And
Or
if it's
hidden.
or or put behind a special vault if they've been found.
Yes, I understand. I have more than enough patience. I do not expect you all to throw your entire life's purpose to try and find these things. It is unrealistic. What I wish you to do is, if you have sorted out your own individual problems, that you find the time to help us too in the process. I have already waited for so long. I can wait a little longer. But as long as there's hope that we might find our key to finally break us free, I think that will be more than enough.
Very well. Well, I guess it would be not so smart to ask, but I'm somewhat of an arcanist. I'm trying to further develop my ability to transverse. Like I say, it was actually quite easy to come here, but I'd like to be able to move more freely in the future once I can understand the planes a bit more. If you have something I could use as an anchor point, then I can promise at least that we can come back one day and maybe update you on our progress or ask questions.
We are within the confounds of a different location, a different space, as I think you are well aware.
Oh, interesting.
Our anchor towards your world lies within the astral bodies. And he kind of points up to the sky and then points to each individual moon that is there. These are the astral gateways that allow and grant access towards hell.
Is by any chance the green one the pathway back to our home?
They all are. Together they create a net that controls what goes in and what goes out of hell. The opening is quite wide for things to enter hell, though it is closely shut if you wish to exit. The 7 greater deities that were created by one of the 4 creators, the Valkyrie King Gods, now as the 7 elemental archdevils, rule as prime guardians and oversee hell to ensure that the devils behave according to their rule.
And by chance, what are the seals called that hold your god epi? Do they have a name?
You refer to the moons.
Well, if the names have moons as well, but there's 5 keys, so I expect there to be 5 keyholes.
Ah, I see. Of our Draculith god. Unfortunately, there are no names marked. I think it was made quite difficult. Well, maybe I should rephrase. There are no keyholes. The instruments used were used in such a way that they put the god to sleep. And with the instrument, you can, one by one, reawaken it.
That would be something worth watching.
Quite the performance, I would say.
And then do the moons have names?
Yes, they all do. And each of them as well holds their own realm. The red one is referred to as Desalio. The light blue one, which cannot be seen from this layer of hell, is known as Esigia. The white one, which also is not visible from here, is known as Thessalia. The brown one is known as Mondalis. The dark blue, also not visible from our plane, is known as Eligio. The dark green one, which we can see in the sky, is known as Vivalia. And lastly, the light green one is known as Auralia. If you get trapped by them, you will find yourselves in the elemental planes of the referring archdevils that reside there.
I was wondering if you're going to find the elemental planes this campaign. They're right here.
For some reason, the name of the light green moon, like, rings a bell, and I'm trying to find it in my notes where I've heard this before. But I think I'm getting confused with something else, unless it has to do with what I have written here. So now I'm lost. Oh my god.
Interesting.
I did miss the name of the first moon though.
Red one is Desalio.
The what?
I can just
Desalio,
I
right?
can send them all to you. With each of the
Yeah.
elements, even though technically it didn't say it, but you could probably refer.
Colors, yeah.
Oh, the red.
That helps. I was like struggling to keep up, and I was just like,
Were you sorry, Azrael, you were told that one of them had answers for you? Is that right?
That's what I think.
I don't remember.
I think I am supposed. Somehow I am supposed. Hold on. No. No. So many names everywhere.
Sure. Okay, well, the deal's looking good so far. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. I guess I could probably speak for everyone. It sounds like we can work toward our goal and help you work toward yours without hindering ourselves. I think this can be made in agreement.
Very well. Then, as is our fashion, we can make a contract to ensure each other's safety.
Would you like to, or would you like me to?
I and those who follow me, including the men under Felkal, shall not impede you in your goals of attaining and reaching the Spear of Avernus. Meanwhile, we shall also return the 3 souls who are in our possession to you, who shall also not be harmed, as long as they accompany you.
And if you could, their equipment as well, as they probably won't last too long without it.
Yes, of course. And I shall also offer what information I can that could aid you in your endeavors. And in return, once you return to your plane, you try to find the Pentasong instruments. And if you do, return it to me.
If I may ask.
How,
Oh, go ahead.
like, how do we get it back to you? I mean, we struggled just to get here in the first place.
Well, with an infernal pact, it will be a bit easier. Like I said, things can enter hell quite easily. So, as we have specified what shall be brought to me, with the infernal pact, that should be no problem. Once you gain possession of one of the instruments, it will be sent to me automatically.
Fair.
This
Because no offense to you, but once I leave this place, I don't particularly want to come back.
Oh, no offense taken. I too would never want to return here once I get out.
Well, to that point, I mean, yes, you want to leave, but obviously you have all mastered how to live here. We haven't. So us going back to our plane where we exist, we would obviously be more comfortable working there. So I'm on board.
Sorry.
Skits like a cat.
With all of your powers. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Skit. I thought you were still.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
With all of your powers, couldn't you just help us get the thing that we seek here without us having to go get it, so that way we can go home faster to help you find your things faster?
If it were that easy, that would be my first suggestion. See, we are chained to this place. As such, the Lake of Atonement and the Wall of Wound are impassable for us. We cannot take you over these places. A divine guardian stands there, and any chained soul who dares enter will be sent to eternal purgatory. Believe me, that is the last place anything wants to be.
Fair. Well, thank you for answering.
Sorry.
Otherwise, we would have tried to gain access to the spear in the first place. But that is quite impossible for us devils.
Since we might be meeting your god eventually, what's their name, or who are they?
The name is Tiamat.
And you're sure they've been put under magical slumber?
Yes.
Interesting.
Why would you make us mess with Tiamat, Jack? Like, come on.
You don't have to, you could just say no.
Tiamat could be nice in this,
In this world.
campaign. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, literally could. I mean, dragons are
mean-
quite nice.
I'm liking the creators less and less, so,
Oh my gosh. I finally connected some dots.
Again.
Good. Good.
Okay. So, when we first came to Hell, we talked to the old man at the Tree of Hell, And
Mhm.
he mentioned, he showed us what happened and all that. And I remember writing down 3 moons in the sky, red, green, and brown. That is the first thing I found. Now, I had as a quest to restore Alitora and find Vitalios. I then spoke with the tree in hell, Yigliva, and he told me Vitalios looks down upon this realm, and the green moon is the gateway to the elemental plane of life realm of Vitalios.
What's it be?
The dark green one?
Vivalia. I
Velvet?
have to go to Vivalia. I threw my pen.
Oh, she just got so excited she figured it out.
Love it.
Oh, there it is. that's why, like, when Jack said Vivalia, like, my brain just exploded, and I was like, wait, hold on. Okay. Back to regularly scheduled ISRL.
All right, so I want to go home, and you guys want to
Yes.
go home.
Yes.
So, and then I point to the big thing, and I'm like, "You want to go home? We just start on our way to like get on with this faster." I'm a little concerned about what's going on at home. I don't know how long we've actually been gone.
Well,
There may not even be a world for us to go back to.
that would be quite sad, yes. The faster you return, the better for all of us. So if you are all comfortable with the contract I have just stated, I think you can be on your way then.
I think so. I think it's good enough. Sure.
Then he just kind of produces, once again, an infernal piece of paper and just once again hands it to each one of you to put a bit of blood on it.
Rick.
Frick.
I looked at my arm. If there's a little bit of blood still pouring, so I don't have to poke myself, and then I'll just use that.
You can use that. Yes. Then this contract is sealed.
Here we good? Like, we gonna go, guys? We just signed a contract. He said once the contract's signed, we can get going.
Yeah, we can.
You're free to do as you please.
And where can we pick up those three?
I
Have we
think
got phone call?
it is easier when we bring them to you. And
To the tower?
most likely safer. If you just wait here, I think Felgal's people will take you here the same way you were brought here.
Right?
You can see Felgal look to 3 of his 4 people and he just kind of snaps to them and says, and 3 of them just kind of start flying off.
I guess while we're waiting for those three, so you've been around a while. Do you know why the demons blight every world?
Well, Carol frowns a bit and he looks at you and he says, demons, their natures quite unusual. shall we say this? The sinners, the first ones, and the reason why the gods stood against them was because they knew how to use demonic power. Demons, or rather, we refer to them as the children of Lilith, hunt those marked by divine. When I was still around, demons would not harm humans.
They do now. It's actually quite problematic.
As I can imagine, as we have been put in the same footsteps now. And he kind of just shows to the black desert.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, if they were around back then and still around, then maybe that's a mystery that won't be solved for quite a while.
Perhaps. I'm pretty sure the divine beings who are even older than me know the answers to those questions. And if you indeed make your way towards the Spear of Avernus, you might confront such a being. Oh, I almost forgot. You wish to take a bit of the spear with you, is that correct?
That's what we were told to do, that it was the tool we could use to take care of this individual who seems immune to everything else.
But you need divine blood to do so, is that correct?
Again, that's what we were told. We don't actually know.
Well, then let me fulfill my first promise in aiding you. And he kind of just takes out a small, tiny, super tiny vial that is dark red. Kind of just sifts it up and says, "This is a bit of blood for my god. And I'm quite sure you can use it to acquire what you need." Hands it over to Eirik, who has now become the blood vial man.
Drink it. Drink it. I guess thank you so much for the help.
possess all necessary ingredients and requirements to get what you need. But as a piece of warning, once you get closer to the wall of wounds, you must prepare yourselves to show faith. And perhaps faith you do not truly believe in. These walls have been built by the gods. And so, the respect that you show is expected to be towards them. And my last bit of advice: if you come face to face with a divine emissary, be sure to not speak ill or show any ill intent towards the gods. They are messengers of the divine, and they will try to pull you back towards their side. But as soon as they notice that you are not on their sides and do not wish to show change, they will see you as one of us, and you will then join us.
A difficult trial indeed.
Very well. I shall now leave you to your own devices. Good luck, and may fortune be with you. Turns around and then steps back into the fire, looks back and says, "The 5 heads of Tiamat watch over you," and then vanishes. And that is where we're gonna end today's session.
Of course.
Did you expect anything less?
No.
All went according to plan.
Annoyingly, yeah.
Oh man.
We
I mean, quite harmless, I would say.
sure.
Oh yeah, sure. Yes, of course. You know, we just said yes to
Helping summon Tiamat.
yeah, no big deal.
He made a good argument, you know.
I mean, Tiamat's reputation has been like tarnished by the D&D community for far too
Yeah.
long. And
Exactly.
I, as a just individual, bringing back her good notions and all the good that she has done for the world,
Mm.
and can be avid supporters of this new age. Maybe this is like after she was bad, and now she's kind of like, you know what?
Yeah, this going to sleep is the best thing. She was just tired.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was like,
She was tired and maybe a little bit hungry, you know? She just needs a good snack and a nap, and then she's gonna feel better.
yeah, she was just a little bit hungry.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Might be. I have no idea where those instruments are going to be. They could be anywhere. No, wait. I don't know how we're going to find out. It's going to be a heck of a treasure hunt.
I'm just still flabbergasted about like the dots connecting into my brain, and I think you all saw my brain blast there.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
It was the snap to attention.
Yeah. I really thought when I mentioned Vivalia, you already were like, hold on, there's some other V
Yeah.
that I'm looking for.
Yes.
And it's not the V for Vendetta, it's something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great movie.
And
Yeah.
I knew it was not Vivalia that I was looking for, but I knew it was associated to green, and I was like, it starts with V, it's associated to green. There's too many coincidences not to connect together, so I was going in through my notes.
Mhm.
This is the downside of how terrible I take notes.
Yeah, by the way, I apologize for still not having sent you your information, Felicia. I was planning on doing it today, but I got caught up in some shit and I was like, oh, fuck. But next week.
I
And,
won't hold my breath.
well, since our next session is gonna take a while anyways, right? So I will actually have like 3 weeks to send you
Oh,
stuff
okay.
before the next session
Oh,
starts.
that's right, because
Yeah.
Greg's going to be unavailable.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
And I guess we will see whether or not we will do a one shot or if I'm just gonna enjoy a bit of time out. We'll see how I swing, how my mood swings. Even though I'm always very excited to kind of create new shit. Yeah, this once again was another very relaxing. Well, nah, maybe not relaxing, but what's the word for it?
Uneventful?
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
lot of lore?
Yeah, just uneventful stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of questions once again were asked, and a lot of question answered, but then more questions came up as usual. Y'all are diving pretty deep, but I'm glad that at least Eric found out about the Greater Healing Potion.
Yeah, that's pretty
God
cool.
damn.
I'm glad that we're getting these info dumps, because now we're starting to understand like the question patterns that we have to have and who to ask these questions to, rather than asking literally everybody. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some interesting allies this campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, compared to the first campaign where it was exotic to have a mage as an ally that lived in a tavern, now you have like a freaking
Whoa.
devil priest that prays to a sleeping god. I mean, you know, the boat swings both ways. Is what they say.
Mhm.
I don't know if they say that, but I said it. Yeah. I mean, truly, hell is really one of the only places where you can get a lot of answers, because the people here are quite old. I mean, eternal punishment is eternal.
Yeah.
And they're also kind of tired of the gods shit, I am guessing, so pretty sure they're willing to help people that are trying to take them down, or, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and you know, they're like, yeah, I'll spill the beans.
Now that, like, we're told that they want help bringing Tiamat back, I'm kind of glad I sketched out that whole scene,
Yeah.
that whole mural.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's good precursor.
that was great thinking there.
Jade does love to draw.
Mhm. Big old 5-headed dragon. That just needs some bit of pep music to get back on her feet. To dance, obviously, and to do nothing less than dancing. Yeah, well, that's it from us, folks. And as mentioned, we won't be here for another 2 weeks.
Yep.
Though actually, the viewers will only have a 1 week delay since we have a 1 week backup, so that's probably good. Well, if I actually finish editing the video this evening, that is. But after that, we will continue the saga of the Fate Weavers. And
Plus Jade.
Fate Weavers plus
I
Jade.
haven't been officially invited yet. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, you still need your pin. That is true. Yeah, and to see whether or not they can manage to get to the spear before session 60.
Oh my gosh.
But do you want? I think it's doable.
Yeah, me too.
It depends. It depends how much time we take to do things. Because we are quite good at getting stuck on small things that are not important and then skipping over the most important things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you mean spending half the session trying to get a freaking bone into a tower?
Yep.
We did it though.
Yep.
We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Look,
do.
eventually that bone's gonna come into play. Don't worry.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Can see what kind of nonsense they get up to next session. So until then, we're gonna say bye for now. Bye.